Hi guys, so when I started this activity, I actually thought it was going to be a lot easier than it was, and I guess I underestimated it. And then after doing it, I realized how much math and different things went into it. But it was kind of cool trying the different equation and then hiding it and making sure everything worked out and seeing how it went. But the first thing that I was dealing with is, I guess something like see. So I guess I struggle with when typing in the calculations, especially from the more like R1 when I had to type in the quadratic formula. It's just a little, I guess I get nervous typing everything in, afraid I'm going to mess something up. Um, I'm making sure I'm typing everything in perfectly so that our values aren't thrown off at all. But so I started with the vertex to standard. Everything went well for the most part. I'm just trying to remember as I look through because that was one of the easier ones. And then the standard to vertex. Trying to remember which one I had the note for. Come back to that. But so trying the different ones, I did struggle a little bit because I wasn't paying attention. And instead of doing graph a new function, I did number new function a few times. So where I had meant to graph this function here, it didn't necessarily show up. And so I thought I'd done something wrong, which I did, but it wasn't in my calculations. It was more in the different choice that I chose. I also didn't know, so when I was trying, I believe it was this one, so when I was trying the changing to factored form, so how we said this was our function here, and then for the other one, instead of plus, it was minus. So I had tried to copy within here and then paste. So I learned you can do that, and then I also figured out that if you try and copy this calculation here and paste it, any values it's tied to actually copy and paste as well, and so you're stuck with two of them. So I did figure that out, because then when I realized I had two later on and tried to delete it, I deleted the wrong ones and everything deleted with it. And so working with that. I do wish that when we type in our, when we do graph, plot function, when we do the plot the function here, it'd be really cool if it was actually the green version, because we can type in here the green ones, but we're not sure that they're correct until we graph this. So if I had like messed up at all, it would stink because it's hard to catch where it's at, but it's still pretty cool. I'm trying to think which other ones. I was a little nervous at first with some of the later ones, like vertex to factored and factored to vertex. Factored to vertex especially just because of the equations. But then realizing how to use that, I was a little confused on how I was going to find the k value. I had tried to come up here and type something in, and then here as well, but then I remembered those are just text box. So we couldn't really do that. But it was nice. So for my function, I just literally typed in the whole entire function here, and instead of our x, I put in my h. And so then that would plug, after that, that would give me my k. So I did struggle with that a little bit at first, but then realizing that, I'm trying to remember what else I wanted to figure out. I was stuck on something. Oh, I guess it was also more of vertex to factored. These as well. So my equation is the square root of negative k over a plus h, and then for the other one, it's the negative square root. And so I guess I was trying to figure out, is there a way that we could do it so we could put in a plus or minus and save ourselves a little bit of work? Because at first when I had done it, I did R1, everything worked out, and I did R2, and I thought everything worked out, but I forgot like a little negative here, and so then my whole answer was wrong, and then I sat and did all the things again and thought I did my math wrong, but really it was just a little typo. So I think it would be kind of cool if we could somehow type in plus and minus. But otherwise, I believe that's everything. I did want to, let me save this and open my other one. I did, when I was looking at question 8 and 9, it said for us to take our, oh wait, I did this wrong. Where did I write? No, so I have this here, And so I take my values. I guess it was in the second one, and I wasn't paying attention. But I guess I was trying to figure out in one of the problems, and I'm trying to see, I guess it was this one for question 3. It had asked about if you make a value 0. Yeah, for number 3, so we're in standard to vertex, and it tells us to make the a value 0. And then we have a linear equation because what we're doing is taking out the whole first term, and so I just have the x plus the y-intercept. And I was just making sure that's what the question was asking. And when it was saying why does the vertex disappear and can you express, you can't express certain ones in vertex form, but I wanted to see, this wouldn't, if a is 0, it wouldn't be a quadratic equation anymore, it would be a linear, or a quadratic function, it would be a linear function. So I wanted to check and see if that was kind of the answer we were looking for, if I missed something there. But I guess otherwise that's everything.